Now, let us prepare our hearts and mind for a time of meditation. I invite you to find a comfortable position in your seats. Close your eyes if you wish, and take a few deep breaths. Let go of any distractions or worries that may be on your mind.
God before me, God behind me, to the left and the right. God above me, God below me, all around and inside. God before me, God behind me, to the left and the right. God above me, God below me, all around and inside. God before me, God behind me, to the left and the right. God above me, God below me, all around and inside.
And so we take a deep breath in now and settle ourselves into this time of meditation, knowing that indeed God is above us, below us, to the left of us and to the right of us, inside of us and outside of us, in every cell of our bodies. And as we breathe in and we breathe out, and we settle into this time of renewal, time of refreshment, this time that we're going to set aside for ourselves to settle into the consciousness of knowing that indeed we are both divine and human, settling into this divinity and this humanness. We breathe in and we breathe out. We breathe in and we breathe out, and begin to let the body settle into the seat that we're seated in. And focusing on the breath, the belly drops and the shoulders relax and drop. The jaw drops. And that crown chakra opens up and energy flows. Energy flows in. From the very top of my head to the very tips of my toes, I let go. I release. I allow my body to relax, to let go of any stress or tension, any tightness, any feeling of ready to jump, ready to answer, ready to move, to just let that go and allow the body to be very present at this present moment, to allow the body to be one, with body, one with mind, and one with spirit. And as that body settles in, the mind begins to slow down. Thoughts about the day drift away. Thoughts about the past and the future drift away. Thoughts about the present moment are clear. My mind is open. My mind is clear. I know exactly what to do. Breathing in and breathing out. The body is relaxed. The mind is clear and open. And I claim my divinity. And I invite you to claim your divinity. To that deep knowing that you are a part of all that is, and all that is a part of you. Breathing in and breathing out, settling into the everywhere of everything and the everything of everywhere, settling into the presence and power of the universe, the presence and power of spirit, the activity of God in and through my life. I sit now in that presence, in that power, in the midst of this human experience, in the midst of my divinity. I sit now in the silence, in the silence. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Acknowledging that I feel refreshed, renewed, recharged, filled with spirit, filled with the joy of this human experience, filled with the desire, with this zeal to move through this human experience, knowing that I am divinely connected with all that is. Taking in a deep breath now and holding it for a moment. And then slowly, slowly exhaling. And as you do, allowing the eyes to slowly open and coming back to this now moment. We say, thank you. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
He has a gentle salve for the wounded, a pillow for the weary soul. The only hope for some broken hearts is time. He'll make us whole. We're all healing, healing, healing in the hands of time. We're all healing, healing. We're healing in the hands of time. He's taken us all on a journey. He knows exactly every inch of this road. And if we could only see farther down it, we would know, as he knows, that we're all healing, healing, healing in the hands of time. We're all healing, healing, healing in the hands of time. If it's much too big today to handle, just hand it all over to him. Father Time, the master of disguises, will surprise us once again, 'cause we're all healing, healing, healing in the hands of time. We're all healing, healing, healing in the hands of time. Healing in the hands of time.
Thank you, David Trolley. Thank you. Healing in the hands of time. And speaking of healing in the hands of time, when David and I talked about what music we were going to play today, and he suggested healing in the hands of time, I thought that's perfect. For when I think about Reverend Bob Hardy, I think about the work in healing he's done through creativity and through his painting and through the classes he's provided. The class that he brought us a year or two ago to where Pat Sweet lives, and we had such a wonderful creative time there. And hearing stories of people that have gone to his classes that have been able to heal through their creativity about what they put on canvas, about what they've allowed to come out. So it's a joy to have Bob back again today. It's a joy to know Bob. Thank you, Bob, and it's all yours.
Well, thank you for that nice introduction, Reverend. It's just a pleasure to be back with you all at the start of the fall season. The energy is shifting in many ways, especially as the sun gets lower. And thank you again for the thoughtful music, David. It was wonderful. And it is about healing. It is about healing. And we're talking, of course, about the power of creativity. Now, sometimes I say, when I say the word creativity, before you roll your eyes, I ask you to be a bit curious about your own reactions and assumptions that come up for you when the word creativity is presented. And the theme for this talk, as was noted in the intro, to speak of creativity is to speak of profound intimacy, of our connecting to the divine in us, and of our bringing that divine connection back to the community. In embracing our own innate creativity, we do more than make art, right? We make meaning. We could become co-creators of a more compassionate and inspired world, because creators, we have that choice. We can be more compassionate. We can learn more about ourselves in our healing. And again, that sounds like a lot of responsibility, right? And is it the job of someone else who is perceived to be more creative than ourselves to do that work? But if the future does not yet exist, and we are each creating the future in the present, in this very now present, then we are each charged with the responsibility, right, to engage our own creative unfolding. We have to take that on ourselves. And we do this day by day. But are we willing to own the fact that each of us has been born, lives in, and with the creative energy of the universe, right? We don't always think about that, but we are. Even though we have the power and will to either withhold our creative energy, or we can use it just a little tiny bit, or we can work to engage it more fully, expanding it to be of service to others and our community. Now, before we get started, I want to make sure everyone has a printed out sketch that was sent. The picture of it is shown in the chat. You can either redraw it if it's on your phone. Something that you can connect with on paper would be the best. And have a few writing, coloring pens, crayons, whatever is handy and easy to use. Make it easy. And here in a few minutes, I will ask you a couple questions before we engage with the sketch. So stay tuned. First, I want to wax on a bit to set an intention for us. The word, of course, create is a verb, meaning to do something that opens our heart and mind. Expressing creativity is not merely a skill or a talent, it is a force that extends beyond artistic expression, a spiritual current that flows through every aspect of our life. It is the power to transform, to imagine, to birth new realities from the chaos of existence. As Matthew Fox further writes, creativity comes from the universe itself. It's not something that we create ourselves. It comes from the universe, from and in the heart of God. This divine origin of creativity elevates it beyond aesthetics or innovation. It becomes a sacred act, a way of participating in the unfolding of the cosmos. And Matthew Fox writes in really big terms. But when engaged, one becomes a healer, a visionary, a midwife to new possibilities. Some benefits of engaging in creative activities positively impacts our emotional well-being. It can give us a respite through not only doing something that is interesting to us, it also brings us into the generous present moment. Like we were in that wonderful meditation, into the generous present moment where all is well. To focus our own mind on what opens our heart instead of allowing our devices to suck our energy. Art, writing, or playing music provides an outlet for emotions, helping us to manage stress and anxiety of our crazy world, right? It also provides a sense of purpose and joy, allowing us to process and express new experiences, reducing other emotions like anger and sadness, right? There's no room for that when we're doing our creative work. So engaging creativity also encourages us to think outside the box, right? Find novel solutions and to adopt challenges, which stimulates neural pathways, which helps mental flexibility. Don't we long to be more flexible? I know I do. I want to be flexible in every way, especially in my everyday mind work. What to do next? As well, creativity impacts our physical health, which can boost immune function, reduce inflammation, and support our well-being. Who knew, right? Reducing inflammation. It isn't just about making art, it's a holistic practice that nourishes our minds, bodies, and spirits. So embrace your creativity. It's a gift that keeps on giving in all different ways. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, states that creativity is not only spiritual, but also practical. It is the bridge between divine inspiration and worldly manifestation, and is a channel through which divine intelligence expresses itself in our everyday actions. Both Matthew Fox and Charles Fillmore emphasize that creativity is not reserved for the elite or the artistically gifted. It is a universal inheritance. We are all artists as children. We were all artists as children. And it calls us to reclaim that identity by engaging with the world through wonder, play, and imagination. In this light, creativity becomes a spiritual discipline. It is a force that invites us to participate in the ongoing creation of the world, not as passive observers, but as active, inspired co-creators. In doing so, we not only transform the world, we transform ourselves. When I'm engaging in the process art or creating or even journaling, writing what comes up in the moment is what is important. My ego mind has to shut up or take a break for a while to allow my bigger self, my imagination, to break through and manifest what I'm holding on to inside, what wants to be known that's underneath my consciousness. And without those outlets to do that, I am just a cranky sod, not happy with anything. You can ask my wife. She goes, when I get cranky, she goes, you need to go paint something, or you need to go to a workshop. Relieve it. Let's engage with a simple practice for each of us more closely. Now's the fun part, right? A sketch was provided, a silhouette of sorts, some lines on a paper. Hopefully you've printed it out and have it handy. So let's take a look at it. So the question is, what was your first thought that came up when seeing this image? If there was a word that describes that first thought or feeling, write it on the bottom of your paper and share it in the chat if you wish. For example, if the first thought came to you was, I'm not doing it, whatever it is, I don't have to do this. Your word may be resistance. Write that on your paper. Or if the first thing that came up, this is ugly, what a nose. Your word may be judgment. Write that down. Alien, okay. Or did you ask a question like, is this a drawing of a person? Is this supposed to be me? I don't know how to draw a face. What do I do with this? I hope I don't have to complete this. I have no talent to color this in. Your word may be deflection. And some of you may have felt some excitement at the prospect of having a project to play with today. Like go on about creativity. And your word may be, okay, let's do this. The point is that we have instant judgments that come up during every minute of the day without much evaluation. The judgments are an ego projection that helps us to keep us safe in a comfortable place. And notice that it's always working, not wanting us to move forward in our growth or learning about ourselves, right? So in this picture or sketch provided, I invite you to pick up a color and make a mark. You can just go where your attention takes your eyes. What was the first area that drew your attention? What marking did you feel compelled to make first? Was it to mark in the eyes? Was it the mouth? My gosh, this drawing needs hair. Just notice what came up first. If you want to, you can share it in the chat. What area came up to mark or color first? We all want to avoid discomfort, right? And so what part of this sketch would you add in order to make this image more likable? Then as you make more marks and colors, what about it signifies a particular mood or feeling or attitude? Is the image coming to life with your pens as having a feeling of being sad or angry or happy? What does it feel like? Note that on your paper as well, and share it in the chat if you like. As we are willing to engage for a moment to what's coming up, let's notice our current feeling at the moment. Just to notice, not to worry, as we know feelings come and go. Just take a breath. Because sometimes, asking to do something like this might be a little bit, daunting, so to speak. But there's no agenda here. Just noticing what feelings come up when we engage this. We're looking inside of ourselves. And as we do this, as we play with this, I would like to share some comments from other aspiring artists that have made some comments during doing some of this type of processing. One artist said, drawing portraits are like 10% likeness and 90% pretending the nose isn't that hard to draw. Or the hardest part of drawing a face is convincing yourself the eyes aren't secretly plotting against you. Another friend said, my portrait had perfect eyes until I realized they were both looking in different centuries. And I drew an eye so detailed it blinked at me in judgment. These funny things come up for us. Just draw what you see, I suggested. This person said, so I drew confusion, panic, and the slightly wonky eyebrows. And the hardest part of drawing a mouth was deciding whether it's open, closed, or existentially confused. These questions come up, right? Another painter said, I tried painting a portrait of my emotions, and it ended up being a messy Jackson Pollock work. Another one, my sketchbook is like my diary, except it judges me silently with every crooked line. That comes up from within inside us, that self-talk. Another friend of mine said, I drew a horse yesterday. Today, it looks more like a confused llama. There's got to be some humor here, right? And one of the main ideas around creative or intuitive arts is that we have an opportunity to notice for ourselves what is uncomfortable for us. Is there resistance moving forward? Are we willing to engage in the resistance or discomfort anyway? Or go deeper into it, even if it's with a crayon or a paintbrush. What is that energy? When we're willing to engage that feeling and to work into that instead of deflecting or avoiding or judging, there's a communication and energy that can be felt. And we have an opportunity to discover and be curious about what that is. As we are willing to let go, allow engagement, and in noticing the feeling that comes up, this can help with our self-realization of learning more about ourselves. I encourage you to keep drawing with this, or keep going with this drawing with color in mind as you play and follow what comes up in a particular moment. Just notice. Is the drawing getting uglier? Good. Keep going. Is it getting messier? Good. Keep going. Again, there is an opportunity to observe your feelings that come up while engaging this. It is similar to and can be like a meditation with motion and somatic engagement. That's what we had an opportunity to do recently together. The somatic engagement, the feelings that come up in our bodies, allowing a marker color to apply that comes from a different voice, our bigger voice, our creative voice that calls us to do more without explanation or judgment, just doing it. As we work this, notice that the thoughts of resistance and judgment that often come up are actually separate from our core heart, and they don't always serve us. They're trying to stand in our way, especially in this expression of play, right? When I say the word play, there's a lot of judgment and resistance that comes up for play. Creativity is the same way in a lot of ways, that self-talk that comes up. And we can share and discuss this further in the breakout room after the service. Now, we may get excited about doing a project and our ego monkey mind talks us out of our excitement, our potential growth in learning something new. Do you ever experience this? I know I do. I do all the time. The ego uses all these tricks it can to keep us safe and in charge, and the inner self-talk comes up. I'm not worthy to do this. I'm not good enough to do this. I need a nap now. I have to watch something else, whatever can distract us from actually doing something. But treat these internal comments as entertainment and keep moving anyway, allowing yourself to spend a few minutes taking care of your own heart, knowing that that's where it comes from. So the more we practice making a courageous choice anyway, we realize that we are greater than the current self-talk. I know you know this. Otherwise, you would not be willing to spend an hour with this sweet community on Sundays, listening, praying, and learning something new to calm our hearts. And allowing your ego monkey mind to take a back seat for just a little bit, which is a creative act. So Matthew Fox sees creativity as a sacred calling and happens at the border between chaos and order. A vivid reminder that creativity is not neat, it's courageous, it's messy, and transformative. The universe has been teeming with creativity, birthing, begetting, dying, and being reborn. Creativity is baked into the universe. You can't escape it. It's always with us. But the question is, if creativity is innate with us, why do so many of us feel uninspired and unproductive in our creative lives, or have that feeling? Carrie Bloomston, an artist, teacher, and author, states that as adults who've lived in our bodies for a long time, we've become very habituated. We have our routines, we have our habits, and we're no longer in the wide-eyed wonder state. Part of being creative is being able to disrupt our set patterns, enough to respond to the moment intuitively. That takes some practice. Essentially, we're filled with many self-protective preconceptions and default responses that block us from allowing the more intuitive visions to express. We shoo them away or we ignore them, but they're important. To allow creative flow, you need to be a willing participant, which we are and can be, and deeply connected to the present moment, back to the generous present moment. It's beyond mindfulness. It's being embodied, being able to appreciate what is happening and identify what is calling to you. No matter who you are or what you want to achieve, whether it's making art, knitting, woodworking, speaking in public, playing with your children, or learning to become more engaged with your own personal expression, being in the creative state adds richness to life and is very healing. Whether through art, music, movement, or storytelling, creative expression is a powerful path to emotional, psychological, and even physical recovery. It's a way to learn to listen deeply to yourself and then courageously express what you find, however messy it is, without censoring anything, in the spirit of spontaneity. This uncensored expression is where healing begins. It's about making space, just a little bit of space, for authenticity from our heart, emotional release, and transformation. Whether through a brushstroke, a melody, or a dance, the act of creating becomes a bridge between suffering and wholeness. Art in any form becomes medicine when it meets the human spirit where it hurts and offers a way through. Whether in a hospital corridor, a quiet studio, or a community workshop, it invites healing not by fixing, but by witnessing, expressing, and transforming. Author Mark Nepo states that creativity never leaves us. Its call simply keeps changing. It's different all the time. And a reminder that expressing creativity is not just grand, it's also present in the quiet daily choices, to be conscious of those. So with that, I would like to share an affirmation to close out. If this can be posted, maybe we can say this together. My creativity in action continues to be vital for my inner health and wholeness. I keep my heart alive while holding my life as a work of art. It's in the chat as well. Thank you, Reverend. My creativity in action continues to be vital for my inner health and wholeness. I keep my heart alive while holding my life as a work of art. How will you become more courageously creative today? Blessings and thank you.